Simon felt immediate shoulder pain after performing bicep curls. Let's break down his pull day through my physiotherapy lens so we can see where he might have went wrong. There's going to be 3 key mistakes that Simon made, and we're going to examine each of them. And at the end of this video, I'll show you one exercise to help you from ending up like he did. Not even 12 hours ago, the night before, Simon had a huge chest day. This put a lot of fatigue on the rotator cuff muscles while he was doing his normal bench pressing exercises. This led to a hidden fatigue for his pull day, as he already had less energy in his rotator cuff muscles while performing his lat pull downs, dumbbell rows, and other various exercises. When he was performing his incline bicep curls, he was in a fully stretched positions of his biceps long head that put a lot of tension on an already fatigued area. This caused the rotator cuff to have to stabilize under more load. Imagine like pulling on a rope that's already frayed. What he did do was he also increased the weight and the repetitions on his final set, ultimately leading him to have to drop the weight as the rotator cuff could not handle the increased load and demand, leading to muscular and tendon failure. The problem here was too much load to the tendons too soon. It was the hidden fatigue, it was the overload tendon, and it was the training mistake to add weight and reps in an already fatigued area. The biceps long head does go right up into the shoulder joint, so when you're in that long stretch position, we'll put more strain there, as the rotator cuff muscle holds the humerus in place. With that lack of endurance and the muscular fatigue, that would lead to more strain on the biceps when you're in that inclined position, ultimately leading to a long head bicep strain. To prevent this, you want to have good endurance and good strength of your rotator cuff muscles. Holding 2 dumbbells, you're going to have your arms out to the side. This is the most compromised position for the rotator cuff. You're going to control the weight down on a 3 count, bring it back up. Control the weight down on a 3 count, bring it back up. This helps to increase the strength of the rotator cuff and the stability of your shoulder joint to help give you more endurance for your main lifts and all of your workouts. This is one of the most common injuries I see in the gym. Subscribe to watch parts 1 and 2 of the rehab journey of what to do if you did get injured. Now he's left with limited motion and limited function. I'm going to give you my favorite physiotherapy exercises to help restore the range of motion and the function to get him back on track. There are 4 main goals at this stage of recovery. After the injury, Simon figured it would just get better on its own. Weeks turned into months, and every time it hurt, he did less and less. He stopped pressing, stopped rows, even reaching for things around the house became painful. This is one of the most common things I see at the clinic: waiting too long. Pain and muscle inactivity leads to more loss of motion, more weakness, and a bigger decrease of confidence. So now I'll show you how we'll start rebuilding slowly and safely, targeting our 4 key goals, beginning with flexion. We're going to use a dowel or a stick and guide the injured arm up with the good side. Think that your good side is doing 50 to 75% of the effort, and the affected side is just hanging on. You're going to stop at pain or stiffness, and we're focusing on one smooth motion. The goal with this is repetitions. We're not doing this for a stretch, we're doing this to regain the mobility. Simon also had difficulty with reaching out to the side, something that is common with these shoulder injuries. We're going to assist shoulder abduction by again using the dowel, helping guide the arm straight out to the side, keeping your palm forward, thumb directed to the ceiling. This is going to help that smooth motion where you get to that sticking point at the middle of range. We're going to again focus on repetitions with just a 1 to 2 second hold at the top of the range. Having full rotation of the shoulder is incredibly important for all arm motions. We are going to work on the supine, so laying on your back with your elbow supported out to the side, and we're going to rotate backwards, back of the hand down towards the floor, and forwards with the palm down. The emphasis here is to have the assist of gravity to help work through the range of motion, going to the point of tightness or pain. While we are working on improving the range of motion, we do also want to start some light tendon loading. We're going to do this isometric exercise that I call the chicken wing, where we're going to press our elbow into the wall, hold for 5 seconds, making sure the pain is no more than a 4 out of 10, and relax. The goal is to increase that 5 seconds all the way up to 45 seconds. This is going to help start early strengthening. By working on these 4 goals, Simon is now able to raise his arm up overhead, and he has set the foundation where he can start to increase the strength and work towards loaded overhead motions. Simon has now regained his shoulder mobility, and it's time to now start regaining his strength. I'm going to show you my favorite shoulder strengthening exercises that I use in the clinic every single day. These exercises address the main problems of the shoulder and help to return to sport or daily life. And at the very end of this video, I'll show you my one favorite bang for your buck exercise for long-term maintenance. We're going to begin loading through the range of motion by using shoulder abduction, very similar to a lateral raise. The big difference here is we're going to keep the palm forward with our thumb directed to the ceiling. This adds a slight bias to the rotator cuff. We're going to perform this exercise with a slower 2 to 3 count down. Here I'm showing you how to work on the lateral rotation by having your elbow supported on the knee. This is a great way to work on the infraspinatus and teres minor muscles. This helps to increase the posterior or the back of the shoulder blade strength while doing important pressing motions here. You really want to emphasize the eccentric or the negative, the lowering the weight down and controlling it back up. This is one of my personal favorite exercises. With the band around your forearms, you're going to hold your elbows at 90 degrees as you bring your elbows up to 90 degrees in front of you, making sure that your forearms don't dip inwards. This is really going to feel the burn in the back of your shoulder blades as long as you emphasize squeezing your shoulder blades back and together. This motion is really critical to helping keep the rotator cuff engaged while moving your arms through different motions. Now, Simon did make one critical mistake. He started to feel better and went back to bench pressing at his old weights too soon. He then had a flare-up. This wasn't a re-injury, he just re-irritated the area, just reminding him that tendons recover slower than muscles, and he needed more time to progressively load. The sword draw exercise is an excellent compound movement for returning to sport as it integrates rotation, abduction, and stability, making your arm move through a natural arcing motion that we do in so many life things. The focus is to integrate your arm moving with your shoulder blade together. I love the landmine overhead press as a way to start progressively overloading the shoulder in what could be still an uncomfortable position. By having the weight anchored on the floor, it takes some of the load away when you can really start to work on that pressing movement to get the front delts back on track. As you make more of a return to sport, this can become a more explosive exercise. Done correctly, the Arnold press is a fantastic all-around shoulder exercise. The key is when you're coming down and bringing the weight out in front, you have to keep the elbows 90 degrees from your body. You're not allowed to dip them down where it's your biceps doing the work. This means you are going to have to use lighter weight to control the motion, but this works the posterior rotator cuff in stabilizing that load in front. A fantastic exercise done well. Now you've done all the rehab and things are feeling good, and it's hard to continue doing all of the shoulder exercises when you have so much training to do. And here is my big bang for your buck maintenance exercise. The high row to press is a great exercise that incorporates so many different motions. Having a band anchored somewhere between waist and shoulder height, you're going to row your arms straight out to the side, rotate your fist to the ceiling, and then press straight up. This is going to challenge all of the muscles in the back of your shoulder blades in that overhead motion, providing stability. I want you to remember that injuries take time and they take addressing each problem individually. Progress slowly, work on the limitations, and things will get better.